Howdy, y'all. So, I wanted to come on here and talk about my visions and my vision board, my life vision board, I guess, at this point. I was getting ready for today and I had the thought process of like, I need to make a video about this. So, my whole thing is that I really need to let the universe do its thing for me because I keep on thinking that it's not. I keep thinking that the universe doesn't want me to win, and I'm going to tell you, myself, and you, individual following, looker, whatever, you need to take these signs as real. So, one, I made a whole video, my mic wasn't on. So, I'm learning. Then, on top of it, I was coming up with some good realizations, and now they're gone. So, I'm like, okay, let's redo this. At the end of the day, I'm just a normal fucking human. I'm a human trying to make a living, trying to make a hobby, and trying to make content so that you, viewer, know that you can do it too. Okay? I don't have a lot of money, but what I have is a really fucking good mindset. And it all stems from my dad. From the ages of 8 to possibly 10, 12, my dad and their I would say early 1990s was trying to figure out, well, let me see, because I was born in 1990. So yeah, like 90s, early 2000s, my dad was trying to get me diagnosed with dyslexia. And what that entirely did for my mental health will literally just rack your brain. So my dad would take me to specialists, then he would make the school test me, and these tests were to see where did I fall on the spectrum. And it would be them reading to me and me reciting what they read, or it would be me just listening to them read, um, memorization, moving objects, pictures, the whole yard of stuff. But one thing that always stuck out to me is my dad would be so, I guess, vengeance on making sure that they understood what he was looking for. And half the time they didn't. But one thing that I remember is like, he would always have these talks with me, like going to these places. He would tell me, like, I'm just trying to get the help you need. I know you're not stupid, even though he would call me stupid. He'd be like, I know you're not stupid. You're just, there's something wrong. Like he would always just be like, there's something wrong. I know there's something wrong. And so when he found out I was dyslexic, he was like, well, let me go even deeper into what dyslexia is and what that means for your future. So one of the things that stuck out to me was there was this there was this doctor that read to me and I had to like sit and listen. So it would literally be like, he's reading, right? You're the reader. And I would have to be like, but I wasn't. I ended up being like, because my favorite thing is to look at ceilings. So I was just, and he would just be like, hey, pay attention. And I'm like, I am. And he'd just be telling me his story and I'd just be moving. And eventually, I think he got fed up or whatever. We were done. And he told my dad that I would be lucky if I graduated high school. Like to my dad, to don't think she'll graduate. Like she probably will not graduate high school and she will not go to college. And I don't know what that did in my dad. It must have just pissed him the fuck off because we got in the car and he was like, that fucking idiot. Are you serious? And I was just like, what? He's like, that man, do you know that man said to you about you? And I was just like, what? He was just like, he said that you will never graduate high school because of how you are. And it just kind of like, one, I didn't understand what my dad was telling me. I was like, high school, what? Because my sisters weren't in high school yet, I don't think. And it just like hurt my dad's feelings. And so once I got my diagnoses that I was dyslexic and I got into the special programs that I did, my dad would always tell me, you know, you're not stupid, right? And I would just be like, kid y'all not, I would literally be like, well, I don't know how to read. Like, I feel pretty damn stupid. But what he was trying to do is build my confidence up. And it would be, these lashes, it would be difficult because my dad didn't know how to teach me. So he would get upset. So then he would, you know, say certain things that would be hurtful. So the complexity of like, I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid was always in my head. And so when I went through schooling, it was really difficult. You know, I had to fight for my rights of a 504 kid. I would always have to tell the substitute teacher stuff. I would always have to tell my teacher, I don't do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't do that. And it was kind of it was a fight at the school, but my parents never came in because my dad taught me that this is your education, these are your disabilities, you have to fight for what you want. And I was just like, okay, let me do that. So I would constantly be like, my 504 plan says this, my 504 plan says this. Teachers really didn't like me. I mean, there was a teacher that really didn't like me and it caused me a lot of distress, and my dad ended up going to the school and fighting with them. So the problem was, it was a football coach that teach history, and he did all of his stuff by PowerPoint. When a teacher used PowerPoint, they are supposed to give me and print out the PowerPoint along with the notes that they put for the PowerPoint. And this teacher would never do it. And I'd be like, where's my PowerPoint? And he's like, I didn't have it. Why do you need it? Blah, blah, blah. And I would just be like, because I'm supposed to have the PowerPoint. And so my dad came up to the school and told them, I get that he's a football coach. And I think he was like the head football coach or something. He was a multi coach. So he did like football. I think he did basketball, and he did something else. And my dad was like, I understand that he is a coach and he has to do all this other stuff along with teaching, but if he cannot teach my daughter, I want her out of that class. And sure enough, my father got his way and I got to a different teacher because he did not like how that teacher taught. And so then I'm going through schooling and stuff like that, and I graduate high school. And part of that is I was a teen mom. So I feel so bad for my dad. So I had my daughter when I was a junior in high school, and then a roughly yearish or 9 months later, I got pregnant again. So in my senior year, I was pregnant. So graduating high school was not only just like a educational thing, it was also like a cultural thing at that point because I was a teen mom coming up with my second baby. Graduating was such a big thing for me. So I graduated high school and my dad is just like, you did it. You did it. I'm so proud of you. And then I go to college, and I had my struggles with college, not due to like my educational, I was struggling with alcoholism at the time, and I was in and out of college. But when I finally graduate college and get my certification as a esthetician in Texas, my dad has this moment of just looking at me and being like, do you remember that man that said that you wouldn't graduate high school? And I go, yeah. He's like, I bet you he's eating his words now. It just made me go, like, he never forgot that. Even to this day, I've been graduated for, I think, 3 years, two, maybe more. And my dad still brings that up. He still brings up, do you remember when that man said you wouldn't graduate? Look at you now. People my entire life have always thought my family couldn't, that we wouldn't. But my parents are legitimately like the people you read about or hear about. Obviously, you're hearing about it now. My parents came from nothing to fucking something now. They might not be a multi-million dollar company, but the relationship with their daughters and their grandkids set on. And it just kind of like had these realizations and these understandings of I actually have all of the tools that I absolutely need to make this work. And I'm excited to do this with y'all and for y'all because at the end of the day, if this helps one woman, addict, or child, then I won. My purpose is fulfilled because that's what this is all about. My dad believed in me to help me to believe in myself, and that's going to help other people believe in them because I do not come from a perfect life. I come from a willing family, a willing mindset, and a never give up. So I'm super excited for all the things that are going to come from my channel and excited to give that to y'all. I'm going to try my best and I hope y'all like it. Okie dokie. All right, guys. I love your faces. Bye.